Yeah, good morning, children. Once again. So, in this video, we are going to study about the new chapter, that is classification of living organism. Classification of living organism. In this chapter, we are going to study about what is classification, what is the importance of classification. Then we study about on what basis the classification is done. On what basis classification is done. Then we are going to study hierarchy of classification. Then we are going to study about the classification of organisms. We are going to study about the kingdom. So organisms are classified into 5 kingdoms. All the kingdoms we are going to study: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Mycota, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. And how they are classified. So what are the different characteristics of a living organisms? So kingdom. So we are placing the bacteria in the Monera kingdom. Why we are placing the bacteria in Monera kingdom? Why we are placing the human being under Plantae? Or why we are segregating the human being in mammals? Why we are called as mammals? What are the different characteristics of the birds? What are the different characteristics of the invertebrates? We are going to study about vertebrates and invertebrates in this lesson. So in the plants, again we are going to study about different type of plants. Bryophytes we are going to study, pteridophytes we are going to study. All that we are going to study. And even unicellular organisms, we are going to study bacteria, protozoa, all that. How they are classified, that we are going to study in this chapter. So already you know that every organism is made up of cells. So you have studied in fundamental unit of life, structure of cell. So in the inside cell, see, cell is a basic and structural function unit of the body. Our body is made up of cells. Inside cells, if we take, there are many parts, organelles, we call it as organelle. Components of cell is called as organelle. We have nucleus, we have mitochondria, we have ribosome, we have endoplasmic reticulum, we have lysosomes. See, all this, they perform different functions. That we have already studied that. See, the animals usually classified on different bases. So before going to the classification of living organisms, we study what is classification. See, classification, it is segregation of living organisms on the basis of their characteristics. On the basis of their characteristics. See, every organism has a separate character. Every organism has a separate character. Every organism has separate character. If you take human being is the only animal in the earth where the thinking capacity is comparably, it is more than all other animals. We think and we will act. So we can speak, we can communicate with each other by language. So language is developed. How it is developed? The thinking ability. So that is our character. That's why we are called as, Homo sapiens. or mango is called as Mangifera indica. See, so we are called as sapiens because of that ability. We can speak. We have a thinking ability. More than thinking ability, we can speak. We can communicate with each other by speech. So that's why our species is called as sapiens. It's called as sapiens. Segregation in the word. What do you mean by segregation? Grouping the animals, grouping the organism depending on their characteristics. So there is something called as species. What do you mean by species? Anybody know what is species? What is species? What do you mean by species? If you know, raise your hands, please. What do you mean by species? Tell me, who will tell? What do you mean by species? Yeah, Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me what is species.
Species are the group of organisms depending on their characteristics.
Depending on their characteristics. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Yeah, very good. Somebody else? Right? Anybody? So as Vaishnavi said, it is right there. Species means what? It's a group of organisms. It is a group of organisms which has similar character and breed among themselves. Breed among themselves. I hope it is visible. If it is not visible, I'm going to repeat this. What is written on the board? So it is a process. It is a group. What is this species? It's a group of organisms. It's a group of organisms which has similar characters. See, all the mammals, ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು. See, all the mammals are grouped. All the animals which are grouped in mammals, they have a similar property, similar characters. Similarly, all the animals or plants which come under a certain species will have similar character. All the humans have similar character. Character in the sense, it is not about the mental characters, or it is not about mental attitude. It is about physical appearance. We have 2 legs, 2 eyes, one one heart. So that type of character. So our body, simply you can tell that body design. Body design is same. In the species is here. Sapien is a species. Sapien is the species name of human. So all these animals which come under sapiens will have a same character and can breed among themselves. We continue our generation by reproduction. Without reproduction, we cannot continue our generation. That reproduction happens in our own species, that is sapiens only. That is the meaning of the species. Our species name is what? Sapien. Our species name is sapien. Similarly, mango, if we take indica, it is indica. So like that, we have a species. All the animals have a species. Tiger. So if a tiger come under one group. So lion come under one group. Like that it is. So if you take tiger, leopard, lion, cat, all that come under one genera. So genus, we'll say it later. So I hope you understood about that. Nikhil Naik. This is 9th standard class. Leave this class and move to the 10th standard. Okay. Yeah, this is about the species. So, what is the importance of classification? Why we have to classify the animals? So, why we have to classify the animals? Everybody, what is the importance of classification? If you know if you want to tell the answer or you can add a point to this concept, please raise your hands. Anybody? Why we have to classify? Why classification is done? So classification everywhere it is done, not only in living organism. We classify in our home also. We classify some of the materials. So plastic materials, wooden materials. Yes or no? Wooden materials we classify, glass materials, cloth materials. All that we'll classify. We'll take care. Glass means we'll take care about that specially because the character of glass is different compared to that of wood. So what is that? So it is helpful to identify the organism. By classification, we can identify easily. This belongs to the mammal. Idana mammal anta ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. Birds belongs to this. Aquatic birds are there. There are some birds which cannot fly. Ostrich is a bird which cannot fly. Why it cannot fly? So then comes body mass. Body mass is more. So that type of animals are classified. Fishes. There are freshwater fishes, marine water fishes, saltwater fishes. Like that way. Plants. There are plants aquatic. They grow in the water itself. They cannot grow in the land. Some of plants grow on the other tree. Like that, you can see the difference. So that you can identify. You can study the characteristics of organisms. Classification helps to study the characteristics. Compare the characteristics of organism. We can compare two different organisms. What is the difference between a monkey and the human? There are many differences. That character we can identify. We can do it separately. Like, see, that's why monkeys are not placed in sapiens. Sapiens in our species. Homo in the Homo monkey comes. So like that. So comparing. To know the pattern of evolution. What do you mean by evolution? Evolution means what? Origin of different species, origin of different organisms. That is called as evolution. Because of evolution only we can see now the huge biodiversity of living organisms. Biodiversity means what? All the animals and plants and all the organisms put together living in a one region. It is called as biodiversity. Say biodiversity of Uttara Kannada district. Biodiversity of Uttara Kannada district. ನಮ್ಮ district biodiversity. ನಮ್ಮ district ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥ animals ಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇಂಥ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಸಸ್ಯ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ಹೀಗಿದೆ. ಈ ತರದ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದಿಕ್ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಈ ತರ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುವಂತ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ನಾವು we will segregate. Say that is known as biodiversity. Biodiversity of Uttara Kannada district is different than the biodiversity of our neighboring district, that is Haveri. It is very different. That's called a biodiversity. So we can see the evolution of biodiversity, pattern of evolution, how the evolution has happened. See, earlier dinosaurs were there. Dinosaurs were present. Now they are not there. But the dinosaurs are reptiles. We tell them they are reptiles. How we told they are reptiles? Because similar type of reptiles we are seeing now. ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಕಮೋಡೋ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ತರ ಇತ್ತದು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್, ಆ ತರ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಅದು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಟೆಲ್ ದಸ್ reptiles are evolved. So birds are evolved from the reptiles. Means birds are originally developed from the reptiles. And ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ? Birds are evolved from the reptiles ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? So that is because we have seen certain characters which are present in both reptiles and birds. ಒಂದು fossil ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, fossil in the earth crust. They get a fossil known as Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx is a fossil which we found in earth crust. That Archaeopteryx having a characteristics of reptiles as well as birds. That's why we tell that the birds are evolved from the reptiles. So that is known as pattern of evolution. Understood? So these are the things why we have to classify the elements. Write it down. So I hope you wrote it. So I'll wrap this. So this video will be uploaded in YouTube. So can again go through the video, or you can just write it with help of that video which is uploaded. So we have studied about the importance of classification. So see, classification is done for all the animals and plants. And what basis they do the classification? See, classification is done on the basis of type of cell, type of nutrition, type of habitat, so there are many classification is done, but different scientists gave different type of classification. So we have adopted a new classification. Whittaker classification we have adopted. I told you many of the classification is there. Many of the classifications are there. So here see different. So modern classification we are following now. Now whatever you are following now is a modern classification. Modern classification. Say some classification is done by type of cell. Means animals are usually plants and animals are living organisms are classified on the basis of type of cell. What type of cell? So we'll see that what is. Then type of nutrition. What type of nutrition habit they have? How they feed? How they feed themselves? They prepare their own food or they depend on other animal. On that basis, we will classify. So we classify on the basis of habitat, where they live. Like that, different classifications are there which are present, and you are going to study in higher class. In higher classes, you are going to study about more of classification. See, even the classification is done on structural structure of cell, structure of tissue, organization of tissue. On all that basis, we will do it. Understood? On all that basis. So if it takes type of cells, there are two type of cells, that is a prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So we call it as prokaryotes and eukaryotes. What do you mean by prokaryote? Prokaryotes. Unicellular organism which do not have a definite nucleus. So bacteria is that. So bacteria is the bacteria contains bacteria is made up of single cell. That's why we call it as unicellular organism. We call it as unicellular organism because it is made up of single cell. I told you type of cell. Type of cell not only refers to the prokaryote or eukaryotic, it refers to the type of unicellular or multicellular. That comes under body structure. See, this is a eukaryotic because here the chromosomes are, we call it as a genetic material. You know what is genetic material? So genetic material means it is the DNA or RNA which controls our activities of the cell. So cell's activity is controlled by chromosomes or chromatin network, we tell it. So that is called as genetic material also. How it is made up of? This is made up of DNA or RNA. So like this, see, this is the chromosomes are without the nucleus. If you take the animal cell, there is a nucleus here. Inside the nucleus there is a chromatin network. Chromosomes are there. Here the nucleus is covered. Actually, the chromatin network is covered with a membrane. This already you have studied in the last class. I will not go through this thing. So this is indefinite nucleus. Do not have definite nucleus or indefinite nucleus, we call it as. Means the chromosomes are genetic material not covered with membrane, not covered with nuclear membrane. That is the difference. And what is the eukaryotic cell? So eukaryotic cell means unicellular organism which is made up of definite nucleus. Eukaryotic means what? It is made up of definite nucleus. Here there is a definite nucleus. The cells which are made up of The cell which is made up of definite nucleus is called as eukaryotic cell. Or the organism which have a eukaryotic cell are called as eukaryotes. Eukaryotes. We call it as eukaryote. And the organism which have prokaryotic cell, they are called as prokaryotes. Prokaryote. On that basis, they have divided the various kingdom. So kingdom Monera falls under the prokaryotic organism. Kingdom Protista and kingdom all other kingdom belong to the eukaryotic. So already you have studied this. Understood? So you have studied some of the concept you have studied, some you have not studied. So this in this chapter some concept I have studied. So those who studied, I will go it fast. So how it is classified, that is very important here. Understood? That is prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Then type of nutrition. So two type of nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Already you know this autotrophic nutrition. So organism which prepare their own food by substance present in environment are called autotrophs. Are called autotrophs. Autotrophs. Okay, autotroph. That mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic mode of nutrition. That mode of nutrition is called autotrophic mode of nutrition. Understood? So here see autotrophic nutrition, there are two types again. So one is phototrophic, one is photosynthesis, and one more is chemosynthesis. Here, in autotrophic mode of nutrition, there are two types: phototrophic and chemotrophic mode of nutrition. So already you have studied this phototrophic and phototrophic completely in the 8th standard. So chemotrophism means what? Preparation of food by an organism. Preparation of food by an organism by some chemicals, purely by chemicals. That is called as chemosynthesis. There are some bacteria which do this chemosynthesis, purple bacteria. So this is about the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic means what? So organisms which do not prepare their own food but completely depend on other animals for food. They are called as heterotrophs. See, the organism which depend on heterotrophic mode of nutrition, which follow the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they are called heterotrophs. The organism which follows the autotrophic mode of nutrition are called as autotrophs. We have studied that already. So heterotrophs means what? The organism which do not prepare their own food but completely depend on other animals for their food and shelter. It's called as heterotrophic nutrition. So again in the heterotrophic nutrition, there are types. Heterotrophic nutrition. Why I am telling this? This is they are necessary to know the classification, to know the characteristics of the living organisms. So we are going to study about all the kingdom. Already we have studied the two kingdoms. That is kingdom Mycota, kingdom Protista, and kingdom Manara. We have studied in next standard. So heterotrophic. So type of heterotrophic nutrition. So saprophytic nutrition. Second one is parasitic. Then third one is symbiotic. Then fourth one is holozoic mode of nutrition. Saprophytic, parasitic, symbiotic, and holozoic mode of nutrition. So these are the type of nutrition. So remember about the saprophytes, parasite, and symbiotic. Holozoic, a little bit later we'll see. See here we take saprophytic. Saprophytes means the animals which grow, the organism which grow on decaying material. Example, mushroom or fungus. They grow in decaying materials. They are called as is it clear? They are called as saprophytes. The organism which obtain the food from the decaying material, they are called as saprophytes. And that mode of nutrition is called as saprophytic mode of nutrition. See, the organism which depend on other animals for food and shelter, both for food as well as shelter. They are called as parasites. Bacteria is the best example. They depend on the other animals for food as well as shelter. They grow, they stay in the body of other living organism, and they obtain the food also from other living organisms. They are called as parasites. Symbiotic nutrition. Some of the organisms, they grow on the other animal. Take food, but they do not harm the animal, but they also help in some process of living organism. Say, in our body there is a bacteria called as Escherichia coli or E. coli we call it as. E. coli bacteria will reside in our body. It will be obtaining food from the body, but it will never harm for us. It will provide some nutrients to our body. So that type of. Or example, you can give lichens. Have you heard about lichens? So lichen is a symbiotic mode of nutrition. So lichen is a symbiosis mode of nutrition of algae plus fungus. So when algae and fungus live together, and that is called as lichen. Here the algae produce food. Fungus will absorb water for photosynthesis. So algae will do the photosynthesis. The fungus will absorb the water and give it to the algae. So it prepares food and takes the food. So here mutually they are benefited. That's called symbiosis. Symbiotic mode of nutrition. Then holozoic. Some of the animals, they consume the whole body. They consume the whole body of other organism, and they digest the food, and they This type of mode of nutrition is called as holozoic mode of nutrition. They consume whole body. They consume and they digest inside the body and they absorb the food, absorb the nutrients from that. That is called as holozoic mode of nutrition. This is about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So this is about the how the animals are actually organisms are classified. Is it a eukaryote or is it a prokaryote? Is it a autotrophic or it is a heterotrophic? Is it a saprophyte or it is a parasite? It is a saprophyte means it is placed in some group. If it is a parasite means it is placed in some group. If it is a symbiotic means it is placed in some group. Like that way, we actually divide the animals on the basis of their character and will make a group. That is known as classification. That is called as classification. Like this, we classify the animals on the basis of their characteristics. Is it clear? So we'll move to the next part. So only 5 minutes is remaining. So join with the same link. Join with same link. I'm sending one more link to you. Join with that link. Sorry, I'm launching the one more meeting. Join this meeting with the old link only. Whatever the link I have sent already, by that link only you join the meeting. Thank you very much.